Chandler, I mean, you guys kind of, did what you were supposed to do today or what you needed to do. I mean, what just, I guess today, just kind of one of those business-like days where you obviously played well and got the win.
Yeah, exactly. Excuse me. Yeah, it's hard not to, just get caught up in the grind and things and not realize kind of, that we're executing really well and doing what we want to do. We're doing so well that everyone's like, next game, that we really don't get to kind of sit back and enjoy everything that we're doing and the success that we're having. So that's what we're trying to do more and not focus on more of like who's next, but take it in, realize that we're playing pretty well right now and just want to come out and execute. And we're doing a good job of that. Guys are playing to their roles. And this is just the work that we've been putting in. It's all coming out and it's being shown just how we come out and execute, guys making shots. I don't think we've struggled offensively really yet this year, knock on wood, but it's just credit to the work that we put in the offseason.
What is this like for you as a senior to be 9-1 and obviously things are, looking up for the team and looking like it could be a good year? I mean, just what's the feeling like the start you guys are off to?
It's good. Yeah, it's really good. The guys are, like I mentioned, everyone's contributing in their own way, and it's exciting to see guys, some of the younger guys, like Marcus and Justinian and Alex, guys that, were maybe not really relied on quite as much last year and just had the excuse that they're a freshman to just, even though they had to kind of sit in the back seat for a little bit, taking full advantage this year that they have, and it just shows credit to them on how hard they work because, guys, really it hasn't really been, a period where they figured it out. They've been ready to go all the time. So that's just, like I said, credit to them and how hard we work and also just how we execute our game plan. Like you mentioned, 9-1 is a pretty cool feeling. I think like the best start in school history or something like that. So that's not to get overlooked, and it's just, yeah, it's a good feeling.
Marcus, we've talked a lot about threes this season, but we haven't got to talk to you about it. You had 3 of them tonight. How great is it to kind of see this team connecting so often and so well from deep?
It's good. That's just our offense, player movement, ball movement. We're doing such a good job of getting the ball to the second and third side, and we have good players setting screens. And when we set screens, if we're open, we're going to shoot it. I love playing with this team, man, especially we play so well together. It's not about one guy or 2 guys, it's about all of us. And back in high school, maybe it was like me or Trey, and it was just the other guys, but now it's just all of us. That's what makes this team so special.
There was one, we talk about ball movement, but there was one stretch where I think you started with it, where you're wide open, you could have shot it. You passed it to him, you're wide open, you could have shot it, and then you passed it to Hobbs, and he had time to take a dribble, and he was so open, and then he hit it. I mean, what is it about the ball movement for this team where you guys are just getting so many open shots?
I think we just do that so much in practice that it just comes naturally in games. When we shoot, we're always taught just throw the extra, throw the one more, shoot the great shot and turn on the good shot, or turn on a good shot for the better shot.
You guys had 6 dunks tonight. That's pretty nuts. Chandler, you look pretty pumped up after the alley-oop from Hobbs. Seeing that kind of performance tonight, do you feel like you guys are really enjoying these wins at this point?
No question. Like I mentioned, it's just fun out there. These guys, we play so hard that it's not really, we don't get caught up in, scoring and worrying about the other team. It's more just having fun and just playing the way that we know we can play. I think it's evident how much fun we have out there. And like he mentioned, just passing up good shots for the great shots. And one thing people don't realize is that it's not something that, Coach Rice has or our coaches have to beg us to do. It's just kind of a mindset that we have as a team. We've got a bunch of unselfish guys, and it's showing out there on the court.
Who do you give credit to for the focus that you guys kind of seem to bring each night? It seems like every game so far this season, you guys have been pretty dialed for the most part.
It's just that hunger. It's a group of guys that are yet to accomplish something that we've worked towards. Like I mentioned, last year these guys had a smaller role, and now they're tasting that where they can come in and make a big impact on a team that can make history, and everyone's just embracing that and trying to work ultimately towards getting better. Because one of the things is we're not like I mentioned before practice, we're not worried about the next team, whether it be Sac State, whether it be Grand Canyon, whether it be SMU. We're working towards our ultimate goal, which is to be Mountain West champions. And we know that if we're focused every day and just get a little bit better, ultimately that it's going to help us accomplish a goal, and guys are just locked in on doing really anything they can to get at that.
So a few media outlets that do the bracketology are starting to put you guys towards the bubble. Is that something that you pay attention to at all, or is that something that you try not to focus on as the season goes on?
I think there's a fine line there in appreciating and being able to enjoy the success we're having, and also getting caught up in all that stuff. I think we do a good job in not crossing that, and as a team, really though we notice some of that stuff. We see other teams in our league and their success and things like that, but for us it's never that we're satisfied. We see other teams doing better than us, and it's like, oh, chip on our shoulder, we're gonna come out and prove that, get what we deserve. And I think that's something that allows us to enjoy what we're doing, but at the same time doesn't get us satisfied, and we know that things will come down the road if we just play the right way.
Building tonight was kind of dead to start off here at Taco Bell Arena. How tough is that? How do you guys create energy yourselves when maybe the building doesn't have a lot of atmosphere early on?
Yeah, I mean that's the main thing we try to do, is bring energy. Doesn't matter. We don't try to focus on who's there, who's not. Whether there's 100 people, if it's a close scrimmage, if it's a sold out game. That's one thing, and why we've been so focused is because we can just focus on what we need to do. I think that also is credit towards that we're not worried about maybe a little game that didn't have a bunch of attendance. We're still grinding through, knowing that games are gonna we're gonna have to bring our own energy and that type of thing. And the guys just love playing with each other, so we don't really think about that too much.
Is there any part of you that says if you hadn't gotten the concussion that you could be undefeated right now? I mean, do you think about that? Is it with how well it's rolling? You guys only have one loss, but it even could be better than that.
Yeah, I mean that kills me every day. I think about that, just being a competitor and realizing our potential as a team, and seeing that it's tough. It's tough to let that go and move on, but there's nothing I can do that's going to change that. Poor situation. Luckily it wasn't a season-ending injury, because things like that happen all the time. So you got to take it for what it is. I just find a way to appreciate the opportunity we have to play together every day, and try not to worry about that, because you can't really control it.